Welcome back to One-on-One Sports. I'm now joined by our college football experts, Rajat Agrawal and Devin Mara. Okay, guys, the college football season is coming to an end. You know, we're starting to get into some national title talk. We're going to play a little what-if scenario here. I'm going to throw out a couple different scenarios. All right, Davin, K-State, Oregon, Notre Dame all remain undefeated. Who's into the national championship game?
I think we can both agree Notre Dame should not be playing for the national championship. I think we also both agree Oregon deserves to play for the national championship. They have such an explosive offense. They've defeated every team decisively. And K-State, I know some people are they're not too sure about K-State, but I really think they have a shot to really
But what about the SEC team?
Here's the thing. An SEC team has played for the national championship every year for what feels like the last half decade or so. I think it's time to give teams from outside the SEC a shot.
If they're deserving of the bid,
honestly, this year,
I
I don't think that's the case. Take a look at a team like Texas A&M. They made the jump from the Big 12 to the SEC. They've made a lot of success. Did you see them against Alabama?
They've gotten used to it over the course of the season. They played Florida early in the season. They got used to it, and that helped them against Alabama. Alabama, Florida, LSU,
I think
and
A&M
Georgia.
shows that the Big 12 is not far behind
Alabama,
the SEC.
Florida,
and
LSU,
other
and Georgia
conferences.
can all beat Kansas State. They can all beat them.
Well, guys, you know, SEC certainly, you know, we always figured one of them was going to be in the national championship game, but maybe not this year. 3 undefeated teams, I don't think you could jump all of them over. All right, this next scenario, we're gonna mix it up a little bit more. All right, here we go. Oregon loses in the conference championship. K-State and Notre Dame lose again this season, and you have your one-loss Georgia, Alabama. Who's into the national championship game, Rajat?
Without a doubt, it's the one loss Alabama or Georgia. Without a doubt, the SEC is so far above everyone. And if you look at strength of schedule, Alabama has played so many more teams. Alabama doesn't have as strong of a schedule as Florida, I would say.
I do have to say, I do agree with you, the fact that an one-loss SEC team should, because I think the body of work, you see Alabama and Georgia. Yes, Georgia did get smacked by South Carolina earlier in the season. Alabama lost by a slim margin to A&M. But I don't see any other one-loss team. No way a one-loss Notre Dame, a one-loss Oregon. Oregon can't recover this late.
Yeah, those teams are resting on that they're undefeated. If they lose, they drop. It's almost like Boise State a couple years ago. They're undefeated. If they lose, then they drop way down in the polls.
I mean, is it really that big of a jump, y'all think, between SEC and the rest right now?
I feel like the gap has gone a lot smaller, but I still give the edge to the SEC team.
Definitely. All right, last scenario. This is a big one, so bear with me. So all 3 teams lose. Florida State beats Florida. Alabama beats Georgia. National championship, give it to me, Davin.
Okay, this may sound crazy, but I go all the way down to number 10 on the BCS standings, which is Florida State, which means they're probably not going to get in. But I admit, they have one terrible loss to NC State.
Yeah.
The rest of the way, they have completely dominated every other opponent, like Oregon-style dominated. They smacked Duke. I mean, Duke has improved much this year. But I feel like ACC in general is a lot
But then you're
underrated.
leaving out Oregon, right?
Yeah, assuming they lose. I know that people hate to say this, but the later you lose in the season, the bigger impact it has on your overall standing. It really hurts. And I can see Florida State, they lost early enough in the season. I think voters would almost get that out of their head.
But I think that LSU would even look better than a Florida State later than that because of their strength of schedule.
I guess so, but I feel like it's hard to differentiate all those SEC teams. Like, they all have one loss. It's almost hard to decide who. I feel like it's better off picking a top-tier team from a
and I think that's the problem because I think, like I said earlier, Alabama, Florida, LSU, Georgia, South Carolina not so much as they lost Marcus Lattimore.
The SEC is a mess this year.
They beat up on each other, and I think they can beat Kansas State, Notre Dame, and Oregon. I think all of them can beat them.
I mean, we'll see. I mean, only time will tell.
It's going to be a crazy end to the season, as always in college football. A lot of parity. It's not the NFL. All right, well, that's all the time we have right now for this block of one-on-one. But stay tuned. Jake sits down with our MLB experts next to discuss the upcoming MLB offseason. You don't want to miss this.